When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out, and I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer is yes. I think that's obvious.
And your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
But do you have any proof
So no
that
evidence.
the messages
Okay.
were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
Yikes.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, like typing it out back and
That's
forth?
exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that, or law
I have
enforcement?
leaks.
Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked?
I noticed this talking thing more. Maybe people have always done this. I just haven't paid attention to it enough. Because I know Lauren De Laguna does this. Taylor Lorenz did it a ton in my convo. This like half-truth thing. Like, you know they're lying, right? Did somebody leak this to you? I have leaks. That wasn't the question.
By telling you that, or law
I have
enforcement?
leaks.
Okay.
No.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And
that-
Tyler Robinson
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we...
Actually, fuck. This makes me think also she's not actually schizophrenic. It is intentional. Because I think if she was having delusions, I don't think she would lie in such a tactical way. I think this is like an intellectualized conspiracy theorist, not like a schizo person, an actual...
To you, even off the
psychotic.
record, like, yeah, we faked these.
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides.
Okay.
Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
You won't.
Sure. Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media? Like who are you expecting to come
Yes, that would be a
out?
hot story.
No, it wouldn't be.
It would be.
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI, like if I had a source telling me.
I like that nobody believes this because nobody knows anything about how media works. But like, if you had that story, you would rush to publish that story. That would be an insanely sensational story. Like, everybody would want to publish that if you could verify it.
Like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world and we know how stories get shut down.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
People know Iraq and Afghanistan, but then you had the Syrian civil war, then you had the war in Yemen, then you had the civil war in Sudan, you had this war in Somalia, in the regime change in Libya.
So it's really it's not a presidential agenda. The agenda's already there. The president just fulfills it.
Yeah, but he can. But his job is to stop it. You know, it's in the interest of America to stop it, because this is not good for America. Because they're saying the president's policy is, let's make Israel independent from the United States. That's not good for the United States. And this is going to sound like, counterintuitive, but you could look it up. Last summer, all the Jews got to. This sounds dumb the way I'm saying it, but look up Tablet magazine. It's a Jewish paper. In July 20.
Considered relatively right-leaning, I believe, Tablet, right?
2023, they did a symposium on foreign aid to Israel. And so all their contributors wrote, for or against, whether we should get rid of it or not get rid of it.
My understanding, I'm curious what he'll say here, or I'll test, I guess, my understanding. My understanding is a lot of the more far-right Zionist people actually don't like receiving aid from the United States because they can probably do it on their own. And I think the feeling is generally that when they get aid from the U.S., they view the U.S. as more of a constraining figure than if they could just act on their own and not have to give a fuck about how the U.S. wants to cuck them in their grander plans. Sometimes I think this is for more far people, I believe, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll say the opposite.
And the guy's name is Siegel. He's like a prominent neocon. His dad's a big neocon, and they're connected to everybody. And the main article says we need to get rid of foreign aid to Israel, but not for the reason that you think. We all thought we were based for being against foreign aid to Israel, and for obvious reasons. We need to spend the tax dollars here. True. But what Siegel, I think his name's Jacob Siegel, his dad's Fred Siegel. What Jacob Siegel argues is, no, we need to get rid of the foreign aid to Israel because it's acting as golden handcuffs. They're saying that as the left becomes more anti-Israel and the left is hegemonic, the United States will use the aid that they give to Israel to leverage Israel and restrain Israel. He said, so we need to get rid of the foreign aid so that we could be completely independent and we could do whatever we want and the United States can't control us. So the most militant Zionists are now actually arguing against the foreign aid. And that's why, by the way, when Matt Walsh at Daily Wire says we shouldn't send foreign aid to Israel, and
Yeah,
Jeremy
Ben says
Boring,
that. Ben says that.
Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro say, oh, well, you don't get
I'm
fired.
based because I don't believe in foreign aid. I'm so based.
Exactly. And Shapiro and Boring say, oh, see, we allow a rebuttal. We allow the different opinion on our show. Yeah, that's because that actually helps them. They don't want the foreign aid because some of these like so-called revisionist Zionists, Jewish maximalists, they want to get rid of the foreign aid so they have the freedom of action. And J.D. Vance, look into him. He runs a hedge fund. He was with Peter Thiel. The guy's like a Straussian. J.D. Vance says we need to arm Israel so that they can conduct an independent foreign policy. We need to arm them so that they can confront Iran. So like this is the policy. And the policy is to make Israel independent of us. But we want these countries, it's actually, ironically, America first, to make these countries dependent on us. Like, same thing, it's going to sound counterintuitive. I don't support the war in Ukraine, but it is indisputable that the war in Ukraine has made Europe more dependent on the United States. And it is bad for Europe. It is very bad for Europe. It is lethal for Germany. Germany will never recover from the economic damage of Nord Stream 1 being destroyed by the United States because they need the cheap energy for their...
How long was this a recent? I know this is posted October 31st. Was this recent? This is an older thing. Why is Zerka still on these spaces? Jesus. What is this? Oh, boy.
Like America or Israel more, you don't answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. This is going to make any American suspicious of you. Any patriotic, nationalistic American will be suspicious of that. I am suspicious of that. I find that to be extremely problematic. I'm not speaking for other people.
Wait, has Ben not answered that question before? Has somebody asked Ben, do you care more about Israel or America? And he's not answered? I genuinely don't know.
I'm speaking for myself. I don't like that. I don't want anybody who doesn't think America is the greatest country in the world with no reservations to be giving me advice on American politics. I don't know why. Why is this so hard?
How many YouTube watchers of Asmongold's content has he converted? His algo was goated pre-politics. I don't know if it still is, but holy fuck. Yeah, he's probably converted a ton. He's probably one of the most influential online people. It's pretty sad. It's insane to me that he gets posted in fucking the H3H3 subreddit and the people there will like half simp for him. Yeah, sometimes he's got some bad takes on things, but when he's covering this stuff, he's pretty, it's like, oh my God, seriously? Really? Maybe that was just a couple threads. Maybe they don't normally. I don't know. Jesus.
To then say that I wanted his children to die in a foreign war.
What the fuck?
Okay, so those are different.
That's a rhetorical.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that Tucker is following a logical chain of actions where if you are advocating for America defending Israel, it's a simple question. Would Ben Shapiro want, if Israel was attacked, would he ever want American troops to go over to Israel? And if the answer to that is yes, then I think Tucker's accusation is correct.
What if you want stuff to go over to, Ukraine? How do you even begin to evaluate that? Wait, what?
Theoretically, hypothetically.
No, it is not. I'm sorry, it's not. An attack on motivation is a very different thing from an attack on an idea.
His point was that you were sounding like a neocon, and he's upset with anybody who wants us to get too involved in Israel's conflict because he feels it endangers American children.
Okay, the idea that, number one, the idea that I want the United States to be directly involved in Israel's conflict
I
is not
get it.
true.
No, I know that. Ben.
I've been urging Israel to get off of American aid for literally as long as I have been active in politics.
Stop making clear what his point was.
But my point is that that's not his point. And again, none of this.
So we disagree.
We disagree on.
It's an inversion of the way that Americans see this. So you're seeing this as Israel getting away from America's aid, whereas I think a lot of Americans, such as myself, see it as us getting away from aiding Israel. And so there's even an inversion of the way that the problem is even perceived. And I'm speaking generally from my own perspective, but that's the way that I see it.
The interpretation of what Tucker has been doing for the past 2 years. And it's very difficult for me to believe that Tucker is merely anti-Israel when, for example, today, in his newsletter, I can directly quote it if you like, in his newsletter today, he claimed that Zoran Mamdani is not anti-Semitic. This was his newsletter today, this morning. I'm happy to read the text. It's a little extraordinary because, again, it is...
Is there something that Zoran has done that is explicitly anti-Semitic? And I ask this as a genuine question because I haven't seen anything that he said or done that has been genuinely anti-Semitic. He said he wouldn't... Yeah, where is it?
It is kind of shocking stuff. So here's what Tucker Carlson wrote in his newsletter today, or what his newsletter says under his name. He said, is the incoming mayor a fan of Israel? Does he want America to fight its wars? Not particularly. But a Jew hater? That's a different conversation. We've never seen anything to suggest he falls into that ugly camp. If we're talking about fighting the left, defending Zoran Mamdani, who literally said that Hamas, he has no opinion whether Hamas should disarm, who posed...
He shouldn't. He shouldn't have an opinion. He's the mayor of one city. He shouldn't be giving his takes on international politics, period. Why is the mayor of New York City giving his takes on international affairs at all?
Okay. Asmongold, very special guy.